I am a huge advocate for the Barbie movie, and let me tell you why. Because Barbie Land was a utopia. Because the Barbies didn't have kids and they weren't married and they put men in their place. Men were working to serve women and the world was paradise. Like literally utopia.
This woman is clinically insane. Clinically insane. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with some complete nonsense that has been sent to me from over on TikTok. That is right, guys. TikTok is still up and running. The women are still being crazy, and we are going to be kicking it off with a clip from this woman right here, who's going to be answering the question, why is she still single? Now, as soon as she starts speaking, you can already probably guess the answer, but she's of course going to cope and she's going to be giving us her answers. Let's jump right into it. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
People are like, Tori, why are you single? I'll tell you why I'm single. Because I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm the only adult. I've done so much work on myself, and if I can do the work to regulate my nervous system, heal and deal with my emotional trauma, learn to communicate my needs and wants and desires, know how to take accountability and responsibility for my shit, if I can learn how to not shy away and be afraid and run when a hard conversation is needed to be had, so can you.
So we already know why this woman is single. Okay, first of all, she's very aggressive. She's very, got a very masculine, assertive woman here who's done her healing, guys. Usually when women say this crap of, I've done my healing, I've worked on my trauma, what this essentially translates to is they've hooked up with a whole bunch of guys, and as a result, they've gone to therapy because they have sustained emotional and mental damage from being with those men. And I want you guys to pay particular notes to the way that she phrases this, okay, which is that she's willing to have the hard conversations and she doesn't run away. Translation: whenever she tries to have a serious conversation with Chad, he leaves because he's not interested. He's not interested in having the commitment talk. He's not interested in having a relationship with you. Ergo, we are still single, making TikToks in our car. It's actually hilarious. I think that maybe if this woman spent less of her time yapping on TikTok and more time taking care of her skin, she wouldn't come across as a complete witch, and maybe people would actually empathize with her. Guys, I don't want you to be a witch either, which is why today's video is sponsored by Tiege Hanley. Guys, Tiege Hanley is a skincare company dedicated to creating straightforward skincare solutions for men. Their systems are designed to be incredibly easy to use, so perhaps if you're someone watching this, you're a male womanist and you're a bit dense, even you have the chance to follow along. Tiege Hanley offers various skincare systems to help improve your skin, but personally I recommend starting with their level 1 system. It has a face wash, it also has an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer as well, which is everything you need to get started with your simple skincare routine. I personally use Tiege Hanley's level 1 system since even before they sponsored the channel, which means I think they are a great recommendation that I can make to you guys. And guys, here's the proof. Don't just take my word for it. If you head on over to their website and you take a look at the reviews, you will find a ridiculous amount of positive 5-star reviews from all over the world. I'm going to put some reviews up on screen now for you to take a look at as well. And guys, because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering an incredible deal exclusively for you. Just click the link in the video description now to get 40% off of your first box plus a free gift as well. Plus, as a member of Tiege Hanley, you will also get 20% off of your future purchases. So guys, don't hesitate any longer. Check out the link in the video description to start your skincare journey today. But anyway, let's get back to today's episode. So let's run it back and let's continue.
And responsibility for my shit, if I can learn how to not shy away and be afraid and run when a hard conversation is needed to be had, so can you. So can you. And I am not going to be the only responsible adult in a relationship with 2 people. Because if a man is being inconsistent, if he is being wishy-washy and unclear and making plans and then not sticking with them, if he says one thing and constantly does another, then I'm not dealing with a man. I'm dealing with an emotionally stunted, immature, wounded, unavailable, avoidant little boy.
Yeah, guys, a man doesn't want to commit to me. He's being inconsistent. He's treating me like an option. Well, he's just a little boy. This is the funniest crap ever, man, is like these women will sit here and they will make these videos crying and complaining. Here's why I'm single. And the translation really is the men don't want to commit to her. It's so damn funny, guys. It is absolutely hilarious. They match with the dudes on dating applications. These guys refuse to follow through, make plans, take these women out on dates, have these quote unquote hard conversations about what kind of relationship they have, and then the women end up crying on TikTok, posting these videos, getting pissed off about when somebody asks them why they are still single. The answer is she's still out here chasing bad boys. And if you listen, guys, she says, right? She says at the end there, I'm just dealing with a little boy. I'm just dealing with emotionally stunted men. But notice how these are the men who she chases. The men who are inconsistent, the men who give her nothing, the men who aren't interested in relationships. Funny to me how those same men that women complain about, they are putting all of their effort into chasing those exact same men. You can't make it up, guys. And then they try and convince you to be the nice guy who comes along and buys them crap. Get out of here.
Then I'm not dealing with a man. I'm dealing with an emotionally stunted, immature, wounded, unavailable, avoidant little boy. And I want to be with a man. I don't want to be with a boy. So I am forever going to stay single until that is possible, because you need to be bringing the same energy and effort as I do. I don't work on myself to be the best version of myself, to settle for somebody who is not doing that work or bringing that to the table.
Yeah, guys, she's not going to settle. She's put all of this work in on herself. Can't you tell? This woman is, guys, how long has this video gone for? Let me just quickly check, okay? What was that, like a minute? 8 to 10, 1.5 minutes of this. I have known this woman for 1.5 minutes, and I already find her completely insufferable. Imagine trying to get a boyfriend as this woman. No, dude. Here's the thing that these women do not understand, man, is that men don't want to come home to a wife, to a girlfriend, and listen to women like this. They are going to make your life a living hell. There's no point having a relationship with them. There is no point making them your wife, because they're incredibly masculine. They're incredibly annoying to be around. She's not going to bring you peace. And so these men have no interest in her whatsoever. Absolutely hilarious, guys. Like, the women, they never learn. They make these videos, they chase bad boys, and they never learn. And they say, you know what? I'm never going to settle. One day I'll lock down my Chad. And of course, they will never, ever be able to do that. Let's continue into the next insane clip here. We've actually covered this woman, I think, on a recent video. It was a different clip from her, but I believe she's going to be ranting to us about how women are expected to, have marriage and kids, and she's going to try and create an argument based on the Barbie movie. We'll see how that works out for her. Let's jump in.
I am a huge advocate for the Barbie movie, and let me tell you why. Because Barbie Land was a utopia. Because the Barbies didn't have kids and they weren't married, and they put men in their place. Men were working to serve women, and the world was paradise. Like, literally, utopia.
This woman is clinically insane. Clinically insane. Yeah, so here's the thing about the Barbie movie. It's complete fiction. It's womanist fiction. It is non-existent. You are talking about a fantasy world that does not exist in reality. It's crazy, guys. This woman's like, oh, if only we did this, then it would look this way. This is a movie, madam. You are talking about a movie that is not based in reality. My goodness. Look at these crazy eyes, by the way, guys, when she makes this video. Like, look at how this is a thumbnail and a half if I've seen it. You know what? I'm going to write down this timestamp. Maybe this woman might be the thumbnail. That is, absolutely stunning right there.
kids and they weren't married and they put men in their place. Men were working to serve women and the world was paradise. Like literally utopia. Okay? Their society in Barbie land was run by the women, not the men. And you know what happened when the men took over? When Ken brought patriarchy into utopia,
Oh my
the
goodness.
world collapsed on itself.
It is a movie, madam. It is a movie. There is a reason why no societies in history have ever been considered matriarchies, is because they never made it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so funny to me, guys. Like, women will make videos like this and they'll be like, yeah, women should be running the world. They should be running all of these powerful businesses. They should be these top-seated, you know, CEOs and politicians and so on. But like, you tell these women to go out there and run their own business, completely unsuccessful. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny because you can become a businesswoman. You could become a giant tech mogul, okay? You could become the next big player. But these women don't invent anything, man. They sit on TikTok, they spend their time complaining, they spend their time chasing bad boys. Like, if you were to look at this woman's finances, guys, I guarantee you, this woman would be spending money where she would just be so financially irresponsible. It would be absolutely crazy. And she's over here talking about how women need to have positions of power. Like, madam, let's see this woman try and run a successful business. Let's see how that works out for her. Like, I always see this argument, guys, where women should be running this, they should be running that. Nobody's stopping women from building their own companies, from becoming highly successful and so on. A lot of them just aren't interested in doing it, guys. They have other priorities. They have other things that they're interested in. You know, to go out there and actually make something of yourself and, you know, take work incredibly serious. Oftentimes, dudes have to be obsessed with these sorts of things, you know, and women just don't typically have that sort of obsession to go out there and you know, work on a career for a ridiculous amount of hours a week. A lot of them would prefer to have a social life and so on. Now, I'm not saying that women can't do that. I'm not saying that women haven't done that. But the odds of them doing it are significantly lower simply because they're not interested, guys. Again, look at STEM field classes, right? Look at your average IT class over in university. Look at your average, you know, engineering class over in university. Oh, women should be running the world. Yet, like, none of them even rock up to class to get in the positions where they have any degree of power or, you know, building or so on. It's absolutely crazy.
Know what happened when the men took over? When Ken brought patriarchy into utopia, the world collapsed on itself. It fell apart. It fell apart. I don't know if y'all have looked around at the world today, but it is falling apart. And guess why? Because it's run by the patriarchy.
I would love to see, guys, we should, you know, it'd be funny. Just allow this woman to run society for a day. You know what I mean? Just allow this woman to run anything aside from her TikTok account, and we'll see how well it goes. You know what I mean? Like, oh, these men, they're evil. Men are running the world. We live in a patriarchy. Society's turning to crap. And I'll agree, like, a lot of society is right now is not the best. But if you think that having this woman run it is going to be your solution, I mean, this woman thinks that the Barbie movie is reality. This is what she bases her thought processes on, guys. It's like, well, I saw this in a movie, so it must be true. It's like, holy hell, man. I can't even understand people like this. The Barbie movie said that the world worked this way, so it must work this way. Like, holy hell.
Hey, but it is falling apart. And guess why? Because it's run by the patriarchy. Women are supposed to be the ones in power. I have just I've gotten so passionate about this. I'm telling you, in the beginning of this year, like, women are truly meant to run the world. Men have taken away our power.
I would love to see these women run society, man. And of course, what she's talking about, she's obviously only talking about the glamorous positions, okay? The CEO positions, the political positions of power and so on and so forth. If you actually talk about running a society, these women don't want to be plumbers, man. They don't want to be electricians. They don't want to be bricklayers, okay? They don't want to be data cablers. Like, they don't want to actually perform any of the roles that would result in the persistence of society. They have no interest in building and maintaining society whatsoever. They just see the dudes who make a lot of money, who are like the CEOs and stuff, and they're like, yeah, I should be a CEO. You know, I should be running these multi-million-dollar corporations. These women would, you know, what would happen if you put these women in these positions? The world would get so much worse, so much quicker, guys. Like, I guarantee you, you put this woman in some like comfy CEO position, you let her run a very influential company, like that company will go bankrupt. Like, I guarantee you, it'll just go into the dirt, man. If this woman right here is directing a company, if she's directing something, you already know it's going to go straight to hell. But women are allowed to make their own successful companies. They're allowed to try and vie for these positions. Oftentimes they're not interested, and oftentimes they also fail in doing so. But yes, please tell me how women should run the world some more, because you watched the Barbie movie, madam.
In the beginning of this year, like, women are truly meant to run the world. Men have taken away our power over centuries of time. They have stripped us of our power. And I know that God would say the same thing. That God would say that women are powerful. You know why I know that? Because he gave us the ability to create life. Because we have the power of God in us. Oh my God. Thank you, Lord. Like, y'all need to hear this.
What the hell? What is this woman on, guys? Like, what are these women taking before they create these videos? Like, this woman has to be, you know, just off the source. Okay, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what these women are being fed, but my goodness, it is not great, is it? Let's continue into this next clip here. This one's going to be a little bit calmer, I think. This is a woman who, you know, she's all rugged up. Okay, she's turned on TikTok, and she's going to be talking to us about her struggles in her dating life. Her and her friends have been talking about dating. Dating isn't going particularly well for them. As we all know, guys, women are struggling to date. Boy, is it hilarious. So let's jump into it and let's take a listen to what she has to say.
I had coffee with a friend this morning, and we got talking about dating like quite a bit, because we're both trying to do that, I guess. And I wanted to talk about it here because I feel like my kind of demographic of followers is maybe would resonate with this. But basically, like, my experiences with dating for the most part happened in my early 20s, and then I got into a long-term relationship, and it was like really lovely and really healthy, and I managed to kind of grow through that and develop a really strong sense of self, strong but flexible sense of self, and also just like a sense of confidence and comfortability with communicating and understanding my feelings. And I've been through therapy, and I feel like I've done a lot of work kind of like healing and taking care of myself in a way that's really helped me grow as a person.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man. So, okay, we had a long-term relationship with some dude. And of course, the relationship was really good. That's what she said, right? The relationship was good. It was healthy. And yet here she is, still single anyway. I've noticed a lot of women do this crap where they will tell you about their previous long-term relationships, and they'll be like, yeah, he was great and everything. The relationship was super healthy, but, you know, we just grew apart. I just moved on. And I'm like, why? Right? Typically, these women are leaving because they're bored, because they get attention from other men on social media. They think that they can do better. They think that they can leave and take his resources. And so they leave these healthy relationships, right? They leave these men behind because they're boring and she thinks that she can do better. And then they figure out afterwards that dating is difficult, that the majority of men, at least the ones that they're interested in, are not interested in commitment. And so, of course, things are really hard for her. Here's what I think happened. This woman had a long-term relationship. She ditched that guy because he was boring. Now she's hooked up with a whole bunch of bad boys who sent her through therapy. And she says that she's done healing now, but she still can't find a relationship. That's what I think has happened. Absolutely hilarious.
Hating and understanding my feelings, and I've been through therapy, and I feel like I've done a lot of work kind of like healing and taking care of myself in a way that's really helped me grow as a person. But in the context of dating, I feel like it creates, I mean, it's a good thing ultimately, but it creates a bit of a hindrance on like how far things can go, or like, you know, how many people I get to experience. When I was younger and I was dating and I wasn't very confident, I kind of like would go out with anybody, and not with anybody, I had standards, but like I would go out with any type of person for the most part, and kind of just let them treat me however they wanted to treat me. And I didn't really demand respect, and I didn't really know what I wanted, and I didn't know how to communicate, and I didn't understand my feelings.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened, right? We had that relationship with that good guy when we were younger. We ditched him, and then we went to the streets from a very young age. We screwed around. We hooked up with a bunch of different dudes. We didn't require them to commit to us. We didn't require them to provide for us in any capacity or care about us or protect us. And now here we are, pushing 30, perhaps a little bit over 30, it looks like, asking the question, why am I still single? Why is dating so difficult? This is the cycle of modern women, guys. Like, I don't know. This is what all of them damn well do, it seems like, these days. Now, I will stipulate, actually, not all of them go out here and do this before I have the old police come to the channel. But certainly a lot of modern day women, this is the cycle that they follow. They have fun with the bad boys while they're young. Then they get older and they realize that they need to have quote unquote standards now. They've done all of their healing and so on. But by this point, the damage has already been done. It's ridiculous.
Respect, and I didn't really know what I wanted, and I didn't know how to communicate, and I didn't understand my feelings. And so, I mean, I was able to date like a handful of people, but at the same time, they weren't like good relationships. I wasn't very comfortable. I felt very confused all the time. And now, as an almost 27-year-old who's been single for a while and like has dealt with a couple of complicated relationships and has learned how to communicate through them,
my goodness.
I feel like my standards are like way up here.
Yeah, so now that we've been through a whole bunch of bad boys who didn't have to commit to us in any capacity, now this woman has made the fantastic decision to raise her standards, okay? Now she requires men to put genuine levels of interest into her. Maybe she requires men to pay for dates now. Maybe she requires men to actually have resources and care about her. And men, basically, now what she requires is men have to invest a high degree into her. Okay, so this woman has tanked her viability as a significant other to men, while simultaneously expecting more from men at the end of it. This is kind of like, guys, here's the analogy here, okay? This always pisses people off when I make an analogy, because they're like, they lose their minds when you compare women to anything. Like, even though that's what an analogy is, people just lose their marbles. Here's an analogy that'll piss some people off, okay? This is like having a car. You take that car, you put 100,000 miles on the car, and as you're putting on that 100,000 miles onto the car, you're increasing the price, okay? And it's actually worse than that. It's kind of like you're having random people drive the car, make up that 100,000 miles. The car gets scratches on it, i.e. quote unquote trauma. Baggage is the word that I prefer to use, and so on. So what happens is the mileage on the car is increasing, the wear and tear is increasing, the number of previous owners is increasing, probably has diseases, so the transmission's a bit screwed, okay? You've got to replace the transmission, and so on. And all while this whole thing is happening, the car claims that, you should be paying more. The person selling the car says, hey, listen, now it's worth more because it's been in all types of conditions. It's like, it's been in all types of conditions. It's ready to go. You could drive this bad boy up a mountain. It's like, no, that's not how this works. Okay. And people will try and convince you, namely these women, that this is a good investment for men. And I've seen men try and go out here and invest into women like this, whether it just be a woman like this, plain and simple, or whether it be this plus the cherry on top, i.e. being a single mother and things like this. And it will just never work out, guys. These women cannot pair bond. Oftentimes they cannot respect you over long. Even if you bring a lot to the table, eventually they will lose respect in you and try and return to Chad and the previous men that they've been sleeping with. It's just a complete waste of time. I don't know how to word it any other way, guys, but these women are a complete waste of time. I don't hate this woman or anything like this, but like these women just simply, I'm indifferent towards the men. I don't want to talk to them. I don't think they're relationship material. I don't think they're wife material. That's just my opinion, but no thank you.
Dealt with a couple of complicated relationships and has learned how to communicate through them. I feel like my standards are like way up here. And that doesn't bode well for like specifically connecting to men, unfortunately. And I think it's because I, like, one, refuse to be strung along. Like, the second that you show that maybe you're not quite interested in me, like, that's it. We're done, you know? Like,
This woman, here's the funniest part about this video, man, is she'll say crap like this, but you already know that she will not take her own advice. This is not true whatsoever. So she will try and sit here and tell you that if you display low levels of interest in her, she's not going to continue pursuing you. But we all know if the man's attractive enough, this isn't going to stop her doing this. It hasn't stopped her in the past. You know, for the past 27 different men, this hasn't stopped her in any capacity. But now she's trying to convince you that, oh, you have to supply genuine interest, guys. You have to put in 100% effort or else she's gone. No, that's not true whatsoever. These women have been accepting less than 100% effort from men for this entire damn time. It's not going to stop if you are attractive to her. Now, the men who are unattractive, oh yeah, she'll require you to jump through all of these different hoops. You've got to buy her crap. You've got to put in 100% effort. You've got to deal with the fact that she's talking to several different men at the same time on Instagram, or else you're insecure and you're not a real man. And the list goes on and on.
I'm not into playing games. I'm a very patient person, but like not when it impacts my quality of life. And so I feel like I'm really, really picky in that way. I also just don't have patience for people who need to be taught how to communicate or need to be taught how to feel their feelings. I think that I like take on a bit of a therapeutic role in a lot of relationships, and I just don't want that in a romantic relationship. Like, I would like to find somebody who's kind of on a similar playing field to me, and that's just like, in reality, like, not really possible.
Yeah, of course it's not possible for you. The reason why this is not possible is because these men that you're chasing, they're not interested in sharing their emotions with you. They're not interested in opening up to you. They're not interested in connecting to you. You know, oh, why won't men connect with me? Why are all of these men so emotionally immature? Number one, men get punished for emotionally opening up to women. Okay, so like a lot of these dudes, they understand, like, what are you going to do? Open up to a woman like this? Oh, hell no. She'll use it against you at some point or another. Oftentimes the women don't actually care. They're just there because of the dopamine, and you might be attractive or you might have money or something like this. You lose those attributes for any, you know, significant period of time, she's gone. So it's like, you know, men don't have any incentive to actually emotionally open up to women like this whatsoever. And also, as soon as you do this, here's the thing, guys, these women cannot pair bond to the point where, like, if you show vulnerability to a woman who's been with 27 different dudes, she's just going to go find a man that she's more attracted to now, because you've lowered her, your status in her eyes, essentially. You know, like back in the day, guys, men used to be able to show a bit of vulnerability, and the women would care for them and support them and so on. And that's because the pair bonding ability was there. Okay, the women were actually connected to the guys. They had a vested interest in being there. Now these women will just replace your ass on Tinder in like 2 seconds. So dudes are like, you know what? Not really worth the emotional investment, to be honest.
In reality, like, not really possible. And another thing I've really had to reckon with that we talked about this morning is that, like, I, at this point, because I'm so comfortable with myself and I love myself so much, I have a good time with almost anybody.
This woman does not love herself, guys. I guarantee you it. Like, I can feel the anxiety that is underneath this woman, like underneath her, the way she's expressing herself and the way she's speaking. Like, you can tell that this is someone who is deeply unhappy. She's not really liking her predicament here. I mean, again, if you were to sit down and ask this woman how her dating experiences have been, she's going to express her frustration to you. And oftentimes, you know, they're frustrated and the anxiety is increasing, especially as they're getting older, because perhaps she might want to have children, she might want to get married. And so this clock is kind of ticking in the back of her mind while this is going on. I don't think that these women are happy, guys. I really don't. Now, if they want to get on here and make videos saying that they are happy, sure. I don't really believe it. I don't think that they're confident in themselves at all. I don't think that they have much self-respect whatsoever, if at all any. I think a lot of this is just complete fabrication of actually how she perceives herself. Because if this woman actually did have self-love and cared about herself and valued herself, she wouldn't go out here and hook up with 500 different dudes and fail to get commitment. That's just the end of it.
comfortable with myself and I love myself so much, I have a good time with almost anybody. And so when I meet a new person and we're like going on a date and we're having like banter and stuff, I'm having a good time because I know how to ask good questions. I'm engaging.
Oh my goodness.
I'm funny. Like, you know, it's just like I show up authentically and I love myself for that. And so I have to kind of go back and reflect afterwards and be like, did I have fun because I really enjoyed this person, or did I have fun because I enjoy myself and I have fun with myself? Because like I could spend all day with myself and just yap away and have so much fun.
Yeah, guys, she's so funny. She's so interesting. She's carrying everything. So the real question she's asking herself here is, was the man actually putting in any effort? That's the translation for this, okay? She was talking, she was yapping away, she was having a great time, but did the man actually have any interest in her? Did he invest anything in the conversation? That's the question she's actually asking herself right here. And typically the answer is no. You know, like, does this man really like me? Is he actually interested in me? Does it seem like he was investing in our interaction together? And yeah, like I just said, the answer to that question is usually no. And usually the woman is there because he's attractive. But guess what? If he's attractive to this woman, oftentimes he's going to be attractive to a whole bunch of women. And we know what happens, guys. The people who have options, so the dudes at the top and the majority of women, you know, those who have a lot of options typically will, quote unquote, not settle. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're beyond settling, guys, because they've done too much healing and so on. At least in the women's cases is what they advertise. But the problem is, like, these women are not going to get commitment out of these men. These men have zero incentive to commit to these women whatsoever.
So that's also been interesting. I feel like it just like slims out the dating pool. And granted, I have not done much dating like at all recently, like at all. But thinking about it definitely makes me nervous now because I am very sure of myself. And I feel like that can be an intimidating way to show up in front of people who are not sure of themselves or who are insecure. So we'll see where that goes. I don't intend on like updating you guys on my dating life. I just have been thinking about this and I feel like it's relevant information. So I wanted to share it with you. But yeah, that's how I feel about dating right now.
So just by the way, notice the way that women frame this stuff, okay? Is if men don't emotionally invest in them, if they don't give up commitment to women, then they're insecure. This is kind of like, you know, guys, let's reverse it here for a second, okay? This is kind of like a man going around and saying, you know what? If this woman doesn't sleep with me, then she's emotionally damaged. You see how ridiculous that sounds when the shoe's on the other foot? When we're expecting a certain type of behavior from women, and if they don't give us that behavior, then we shame them. You know, what happened to people being allowed to have boundaries, or people that they're not actually interested in committing to? Because by the way, guys, this woman, in order to get to this situation, this woman has rejected a bucket load of men. In order to get to this situation, this woman has rejected a bucket load of men, which, you know, she's perfectly well within her rights to do. But if a man does it, then that makes him insecure. That makes him emotionally stunted. That makes him a little boy, and so on and so forth. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.